Hi folks, this is video 61 and the title is Skootamatta. It refers to a lake where I fished many times at Roy and family and friends. Just some thoughts on that nice lake. Roy and I fished with family and friends in Canada a number of times. One year we fished on a lake named Skootamatta. It was a fairly large lake and shaped like a lobster. It was a typical glacier lake. When watching the depth finder, you would have 60 feet of water, and a second later, 3. You had to stay diligent until you established a trolling route. Fishing action was very slow on this one particular day. We were just drifting and watching a fish on the screen. I looked out across the lake and saw a small wake coming towards us. On closer inspection, we realized it was a big bullfrog. We figured he would make great bait. We scooped him up with a net. This was a huge frog. I put my baseball cap over it. Only his nose could fit out the half moon in the back of the cap at the adjustment. We hooked him through the nose and put on a small weight. We trolled with that frog for a couple miles. It then occurred to us that the frog swam more than a mile to get to us, and nothing ate him during his travels. We decided he wasn't such good bait after all. We turned him loose. One night the plan was to do some trolling. Roy always guided on the TV tower red light. On this trip we had brought Roy's twin sons, Matt and Mike. I was having trouble with reflux and decided not to go. If I had a reflux reaction while sleeping, it would get into my lungs and cause me to get very cold. This was one of those occasions. Roy's son Mike loaded up the potbelly stove and they headed out. That potbelly stove got red hot. I swear I could see through it. It was so hot that I not only warmed up, but could hardly breathe. When the crew got back, I was standing on a small 4x4 stoop, leaning on the rail, in my underwear, in the rain. The cabin was about equivalent to a furnace. Man, it was hot. Michael sure can build a fire. Another time, Roy and I decided to check out an adjoining lake. The two lakes were divided by a road. There was a small concrete bridge allowing the passage of a small boat. I don't remember the name of the smaller lake, but the lake itself was great. It was only about a mile or so long and sort of narrow. A cabin on the eastern hilltop had a slide built that came down from the cabin to the shore. It looked to us that it was about 80 to 100 feet high. I wouldn't go down it. You could probably shoot halfway across the lake. There was tons of driftwood along the shore and a nice island in the middle. I had my cooler in the boat with fixings for lunch. We had not caught anything, so we landed the boat on the island shore and carried the cooler to a nice spot of granite rock and set up and cooked lunch. I had a cheap 10-inch grill I picked up for a couple bucks and also a couple of T-bones. We gathered some wood and got a fire going in the grill. We were on vacation and we're just sitting there enjoying the day and the surroundings. This island had 4 evenly spaced red pines forming 4 corners. We were sitting in the middle. We decided where we were sitting would be ideal for a cabin. Roy and I baked a couple potatoes and grilled the T-bones. We broke out the paper plates and iced tea. It was a good day. I looked at my watch. It was about 2:30 p.m. Roy and I would normally be headed into work for second shift. We felt bad for the folks who were not able to enjoy what we were experiencing. On the last trip we took to Skootamatta, Roy's wife, Wilma, and my girlfriend came along. We also took 2 boats. Roy's boat was an 18-foot walk-through bow, and I had my 20-foot center console. As previously mentioned, at night while trolling, Roy would guide on the TV tower blinking red light. Not wanting to troll right on top of Roy and Wilma, we moved farther out into the lake. Guess what? There were 3 blinking red lights. I didn't know which was the correct one. I decided I'd better bring up my waypoint chart and reference our home position. I made a mistake and hit the wrong button. I made our current position home. That sure didn't work. Now we were totally disoriented. It was pitch black and little or no moon. This lake was sparsely populated, too. I tried to find our original waypoint. The unit told me I had 160 some miles to go to get back. Boy, did I mess up. We finally ended up just slowly following the shoreline until we got back where we belonged. It was rather dangerous with the great depth variations. We were very happy to see our little bay and the cabin on the hill. On the trip where Michael cooked me out of the cabin, there was an outdoor show film crew staying in the cabin across the way. I talked with the camera guys a little. They were not impressed with the so-called outdoors host they were assigned to work with. I don't remember his name, but you see, this host didn't like the cabin setup. There was no TV and no room service. What a hypocrite. I guess he must have had his shore lunches catered. They were gone first thing next morning to find a hotel meeting his requirements. If you go out on the web and search for Lake Skootamatta, you'll find tons of pictures. The picture up above on this ending slide shows the actual island where Roy and I had our little shore lunch with T-bones and baked potatoes. A really nice place. And as always, I wish you all the best.